I used to agitate people on purpose. I got amusement out of it. If I was arguing with somebody and they got worked up, angry, and frustrated, I won. It made me feel good to see other people become dysregulated and lose control over their emotions and what they're saying. I wonder if that's because I was constantly dysregulated, and so it was my way of connecting with people through the frustration. I would do whatever it took to hold back any emotions. If it was too much, I would go on the attack and try to catch them off balance so I can get a free pass on my emotional reaction. When emotions are kept bottled up, they get twisted. They manifest in other ways, and in this case, as ill will. Ill will is like hostility towards others. Essentially, because I didn't want to feel a certain way, I was averse to the way that I was feeling, and so I developed ill will, which obstructed my ability to remain mindful and free and to see clearly and choose wisely. Being caught up in ill will is itself painful. My viewpoint becomes narrow and hostile, and I become more reactive and act impulsively. Plus, the discomfort of my reactivity would fuel the ill will to keep going. Aversion to aversion perpetuates aversion. This caused me to live an alienated life. I felt isolated and had difficulty connecting to others. And it was self-fulfilling. The reactions my ill will pulled out of others gave me more reasons to have aversions to them and to avoid honest and open communication. The ill will was really a cover for something deeper. Frustrated desire. Sometimes it was frustration over not being understood and validated. I would be trying to tell somebody something and explain myself, and if I felt like they weren't understanding me, it would make me frustrated and develop ill will towards them. Sometimes it would be embarrassment or fear of being wrong and embarrassed. So if I was in an argument and the other person was winning the argument, then I would turn to ill will in order to avoid feeling the embarrassment of being wrong. So really, the ill will is a way of protecting myself. Because as long as I'm fixated on what I don't like about what the other person said, I won't have to feel how uncomfortable I am. So as long as I am pointing out what other people said that is wrong or something like that, then I don't have to do the hard work of feeling how uncomfortable I am. However, having ill will is not a personal failing. It is an ordinary part of life. Part of overcoming the aversion is to avoid defining or judging oneself by its presence. It's also not necessary to be under its sway. There are ways to act with wisdom and compassion instead. Something that helps me is noticing when I start to feel hostile and shift my attention to the ill will itself. I try to drop into the body and feel the ill will physically. How is it energetically? Usually I feel frustrated, agitated, uneasy, but also motivated and energized. I'm ready to fight. What are the sensations? I will feel pressure on my chest, my throat, and my head, sometimes warmth in my nose and my head. It can be very helpful to stop thinking about the ill will and instead allow the whole body to be a container that provides space for the many sensations and feelings. When I'm not averse to the sensations, I don't need to act on them. I simply watch and wait for them to dissipate and dissolve. Because when the ill will is arising, it comes in the form of sensations. And these sensations can be difficult to bring our awareness to because we feel like having these feelings is wrong, and we want to stop having these feelings. And so we want to do what we can to avoid paying attention to the sensations and the energy of the body. And instead, we focus on something external, like what someone said or what someone did. And we use that to focus our attention away from the sensations going on in our own body. But when we become aware of the sensations and we break our aversion to the sensations, we can start to come out of it. We can start to overcome the ill will, because we become stronger and stronger and more able to withstand these sensations, to observe them objectively. And when you've done this a few times, your brain starts to recognize the pattern that, oh, I'm feeling this way, but it's all right because it's impermanent. And all I need to do is observe the sensations until they go away. I don't need to yell at this person. I don't need to make fun of them. I don't need to judge them or tell them that they're wrong. This is really just sensations going on within me, a reaction to something that happened, and I can focus on the breath, focus on the sensations of the body until it goes away. And in this way, over time, I was able to greatly reduce the reactive nature of my mind when I would like always argue with like everybody about everything. And now my concern is typically, how can I help the other person to feel more calm? How can I bring compassion and wisdom to this conversation? And if I when I do start to react, I know that it's my job and my responsibility to regulate my own nervous system so that I can continue to show up as my best self. I hope this was helpful for you. This is my experience with ill will, arguing with people, getting into fights, and how I used mindfulness and meditation to lessen the burden that ill will and frustration has on my life. So I hope this was helpful for you. If it was, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, drop a comment below if you have any questions or you have an idea for what I should talk about next. And have a great day. Thanks.